That thing there is called junction A, and that's where you charge it. It doesn't need charge more than a couple times a year. Anyway, there's a wire, 2 ports on the back of that junction. And I've got 2 leads plugged in. One of the leads runs straight up to this shifter. The other lead runs in here and in here and over here and down there. It's kind of crazy. And then I had to tie the left shifter to the right shifter, so I got a lead. You can see where it plugs in there. Got a lead in there going through the handlebar, coming out the handlebar, and plug in there. So those 2 things are tied together. Inside the handlebars, actually down here is where I put it, is a wireless unit which pairs the system to the app on my cell phone, so you make adjustments and settings and whatnot. Get a read on the battery life, etc. So that wireless sending unit is here, and that just has to be connected one way or another. It doesn't have to be in line, it can just be connected with a dedicated line. So what I did is I ran a line from this other, there's 2 ports on this shifter. I ran a line from the other port through here all the way down and around, pulled it out here, wired or connected the wireless sending unit, wrapped it in foam and shoved it back up here so it won't rattle, it won't move either. Got the brake cables running. You can see they run, it's probably the same on your new bike. They run in a port and out a port. So the brake cable for this is front brake cable, obviously. So I've just got it taped onto the frame down there. It's not connected to calipers, and not mounted. The rear brake cable goes in and out and down around here and into this port on the side of the top tube. It'll go out that port and connect to the rear cable there. All of that stuff, there's another junction down here, and it has 4 ports, 2 on either end. It's just a little tiny piece. And the 2 on the rearward end of the junction accepts a wire from the rear derailleur. You can see it there, through here, out the bottom bracket. The other rearward port on that junction connects to the front derailleur. There, comes out of the frame on the side here. You can see that up here, connect there. That's the power motor. So the back end of the junction B connects the 2 derailleurs. The front end of the junction B, this battery, which I've wrapped and stuck in the seat post, and it has 1 port on the end of it, and a wire runs from it down to the front of that junction B to one of the 2 ports. The other port is a wire that runs up here, which, as you see, I've made it come out that hole temporarily. And that's a line connector, and that connects to the power line that goes. So that's the line that connects the cockpit, the handlebars, shifters, everything, to junction B eventually. So that's how it gets power up that tube through here. That was a lot of work, man. So that stuff is still hanging out, because if I have to check something, if it's not set up right or I didn't plug a wire in, no point in pushing the bottom bracket. There's the bottom bracket. I just pushed it in a little bit to see if it would go. It does. Once I've checked everything and verified the system, I'm going to shove this whole thing up here so no wires are in the way of the bottom bracket when I press it through. That would be catastrophic. So all of that will fit up into this big fat down tube. So one wire from the rear derailleur to the junction, one wire from the front to the junction, one wire from the battery to the junction, one wire goes forward to the junction, and there's a connection there, and that wire connects the cockpit to the system. That thing you can use to make some adjustments, but it's better to actually do it on the mobile app. It's pretty cool. Anyway, there you go. It's coming along. I haven't finished. You can see that. That's just on there temporarily. I have to cut that off. Yeah. A lot of work, bro. There's Shimano Ultegra calipers. I'm almost there. I hope my wiring was correct.